Hey guys, and welcome to day 20 of the July Scrapathon. If you still have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. Just click on the links below for the Facebook group and my introductory video to see what this is all about. So the challenge today is it's called mini album, and all you have to do is work on a mini album, whether you make one start to finish, work on one in progress, or finish one up. Just don't forget to have fun. I really like making mini albums, so you'll see what I came up with. I personally worked on one in progress, and it still is in progress, so you'll see how I made my mini album here in just a bit. So don't forget to check out Eileen's video. I can't wait to see what she came up with. And don't forget to check out the April Lilli store and blog, because she has some awesome design team members and they make some awesome things over there. So I'll leave you now and you can see what I came up with. Okay, so first I'm just flipping through and showing you what's already made in this album, and there is a process video for all that I probably was about 6 months ago, so if you go back a bit on my channel and you might find that as well. So this is a mini album that I got from Tiger, and it was, I think, maybe €3. So I just really like how I can create stuff on it. So I'm starting with that meme there. I don't know what I don't know if it's a meme or a quote, or I don't know. So I'm just using this folder of scraps because I've tried and tried again to use them on layouts, but they're just super mismatched. So I just decided that I'm going to only use them on this mini album, and if I don't use them by the time the mini album is finished, I'm just going to throw them out. Okay, so there's a little tiny piece there of that glitter paper, and that's from the Glitter Stack by American Crafts, and the 6x6 paper pad. Everything is 6x6 here. And then the other piece is from the Simple Stories 24/7, and then that diagonal is from the Dots and Stripes by American Crafts. So I'm just fidgeting with how I want to layer those two pieces together, and then I'm just flipping through papers to see what I want to add to this page. So this one is going to be a 2-page sort of spread, because I want to add some not a lot of journaling. Yes, so I'm just flipping through the paper to see if there's anything else I'd like to add, and I decided I wanted to add some gesso just to add some interest, because it's white on black looks really nice. So I'm just going to spread some of that around just on both sides as well, just to bring in similar elements so they look cohesive, the 2 pages next to each other. So I'm just using my finger to spread that gesso around, and it doesn't need a lot because the background is black, so the white really stands out on the black background. So I'm just going to stick down those pieces of paper and go on. So when I make a mini album, it goes really quickly for me because it's not a scrapbook page, and for some reason when I make scrapbook pages, I'm a bit more of a perfectionist. But when I'm just working in this mini album, I don't know, I just glue down stuff. I'm not being too indecisive, and I just move on. I don't know why I don't do this for scrapbooking layouts, but anyway, so I'm using that Dreams piece there because I thought it had a sort of it sort of matched the quote and the journaling I was going to write. And then I added that little flower pink again to bring that foil in both sides of the paper. And now I'm going to use this pink gel pen, and it's a Pilot gel pen, and it's a glittery one, and you can see it very clearly on the black background, so I can't really see what I'm writing. So if you want to know what I wrote there, you could pause the video and read it, but it's just stuff about swimming, so I don't think it'll be all that interesting for you. So see a lot of journaling there. And I love that pen. That pen, I have maybe 15 different colors of that pen. It's just, I don't know, I just love how it writes. Okay, so now I have to wait for the gesso to dry before I can work on another page. So I'm also going to add a border to the other side, again to bring in that pen element to both sides and make it look cohesive. And now I'm going to add some white watercolor. Oh, I'm going to add some white splatters. Okay. So I'm just splattering some white, and again, the white really stands out on the black, which is why I enjoy using it, because I can't normally use it on regular scrapbooking layouts that I create. And then I add some splatters that I didn't like where they landed. And now I am just waiting for the splatters to dry. So I'm just going to scoot that up and work on the pages that I'm going to make on the other side on the bottom there, and just imagining them with a black background. So I'm just going to layer some of this paper, and that is from the Basic Stack by Die Cuts with a View. And then I just ripped some of that green florally paper that I don't know where it came from. It wasn't from a paper pad, so I don't know. And then I'm going to pull out another meme, because these two don't really have a lot of journaling. The quote says it all for itself. So I'm just going to make one page for each of them. And then I pulled in that blue piece for the pink quote. And then I'm stuck again. I'm waiting for these things to dry. But I went and got some of these sequiny sort of flower thingies, and I'm going to add one to each page. Again, because they're next to each other and they already have that same green paper, I don't want them to be cohesive, because there's journaling on the one side and the picture on the other, but I do want a sort of cohesiveness going on, because they will be on pages next to each other, so I don't want to have a completely different thing, although I usually don't mind that, and I think I wouldn't have really minded here either, but it just happened that I used those same green paper on both pages. So since I did that, I thought I could use some same elements on the page too. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this stuff down now, and I'm using my Yoo-Hoo Twist and Glue glue, which is a really strong glue, and I just wasn't in the mood to pull out my ATG and use it on here, and I'm just getting rid of some of that glue there. So this is a quote from Michael Phelps, and I'm sure you know who Michael Phelps is, but he is one of the most decorated Olympians in history. He has 23 gold Olympic medals, and he's been on 5 Olympic teams, which is a huge accomplishment. So anyway, I moved on to the next page, and I'm gluing down those pieces of paper there, and my second quote. And these quotes are printed on label paper, because I thought I could just peel them off and use them as a sticker, but it's a really thin label paper, so I'm just not even bothering to do that. And when I print out more quotes, I'm just going to either use printer paper or photo paper, but I'm thinking I'm just going to use printer paper. So anyway, I didn't like both of those flowers to be gigantic, because they were just too distracting. So I'm going to switch one of them out for a smaller one, and just glue it down in the corner there. And I think my sister was in the room, so I was talking to her occasionally. We were studying for a test. So I had my last exams in music theory, grade 5. So we had to learn some words in Italian and German. So she was testing me over there, and I was responding. So then these are the last two quotes, and they're both white. So I'm going to start off with the first one here, and I'm going through and pulling out some things. So I thought these red polka dots would look nice, so I'm going to layer them on either side of the quote for the time being. And then I'm also going to pull in one of these little, I don't know what those are called, but these are from the 24/7 paper pad as well. And I thought that would look nice there. But I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it, because then I wanted to add the same stuff to the other side, even though... Did I do journaling for this one, or did I add another quote? I don't remember. Anyway, so I was trying to add the same elements to the other side, and it's just too brownish. I don't know, I wasn't really liking it, so I'm going to get rid of all of this in just a bit, after I stare at it for a little bit. So off they go. I did still like that red a bit, but they're going to leave too once I find this floral piece. Oh, okay, this floral piece is from a My Mind's Eye collection. I don't know what collection, because I got it in a little booklet of papers that came with the Paper Crafters magazine. So I don't know, it's probably an old collection. And then here I tried to mix gesso with some blue paint, just give it a blue tint, but that didn't work. So I'm just going to add the gesso and then do the packaging technique, I believe, with some blue watercolors, or I'm just going to use it with my brush there. I'm just adding some watercolor with the brush to add some blue. I don't know why I wanted blue, but I was in the mood for blue, I guess, so there goes that. And I'm just going to glue those down in a little bit. So I'm going to place that there. See, my finger, I was saying words to my sister because I was trying to like think of stuff. So anyway, so I'm going to glue that down. I like that. I really like that floral piece. I'm glad I finally got to use it, because in that folder I only have tiny bits of scraps, so I can't really incorporate them on a layout. So I'm glad I'm getting to use some of them and not having to throw all of them out. Okay, so that's glued down, and now I'm going to do the last one, and that last one doesn't really have any journaling. It's just a simple little thing, so I'm also gonna just glue it down next to the other one. And I tried to use some of this red paper. I did end up using it, so I just ripped a bit off of that red stripe paper from the Dots and Stripes from American Crafts, and I wanted to add some more strips of paper, so I'm going through the papers. I'm going to rip some of this sort of peachy sort of paper and use that as well. So what am I doing? I'm gluing things down. Yeah, so I'm going to glue that second strip, and then I'm going to glue the first strip as well. And when I ripped it, I kind of destroyed the paper, so it gave me a hard time gluing it down, but I finally managed to do so. So you see how in my mini albums I really don't pay any attention to how the paper is cut, if it's crooked, if it's ripped, if it's like weird size. I just stick it down if I like it and move on. I don't know, it's just I sort of allowed myself to be very liberal in the mini album. I don't know why. But I just do whatever strikes my fancy, not really caring about how much paper I use or if I wasted any paper. I think that's mostly because I'm so bored of these scraps, and I've tried to use them so many times on layouts and they just wouldn't work. I'm just glad to get them used, so I don't really care if I waste a little piece. I think that is probably my problem. Okay, so I'm gluing down another yellow piece to complete the sort of like mat behind my photo. And then, not photo, behind that little quote thingy. So a lot of glue seeped through, so I'm just drying it with that, what is it called? With that tissue paper or paper towel or kitchen paper. I'm not sure what it was that I was using on that given day, but it was something of those things. And I'm going to trim down that piece so you could see all the papers through on all sides of it. And I'm going to glue it down. And you see my glue bottle was getting really empty, so I'm fidgeting with it a lot before I can get any glue out of it. And then I thought I needed some mixed media because it was a bit boring, so I'm going to take some orange watercolor. And I don't really like how this turned out, but it's okay. So I'm just adding some orange watercolor to the whole page, and then I'm also going to go over everything because I accidentally went over that little piece, that little red piece. So I'm going to go over everything in just a second, I believe. Or maybe not. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and add some lines of journaling and some little doodles with my pen. So I'm using that same pink pen, and I'm going to add a border to both of these pages here. Sorry you can see my head there. I was just trying to see where the pen would go, where that spiral is. And now I seem to be saying words again, and I should have edited this out. I'm sorry, guys. So I'm flipping through the pages I made and seeing what I want to add to them. So I am going to add, what am I adding? I'm adding some stars from that dolphin sticker sheet because they had the right shade of blue. And then I'm going to do I think it's just a line of journaling with a white gel pen, and that is again a Pilot gel pen. I can't see what I wrote down there, guys. I'm sorry, but I think you will be able to. Oh, I think it says this is so true. I don't know. And then what am I doing? I'm also gonna add just like a one line of journaling onto this page, and I'm sorry that's off camera because I did zoom in more than I normally do for the mini album because it's a much smaller size, so I wasn't really adjusted to the camera where the camera actually filmed, so I apologize for going off frame there. So I'm adding just a couple of words with my white gel pen to both of those pages, and again I'm just flipping through and seeing if I want to add anything else. Okay, so I'm just going to add some journaling with that to pink gel pen to the page with the floral paper, and then I'm going to do a quick flip through of all the pages I created. So I hope I hope you participate in this challenge. So to do that, you have to enter the Facebook group that's in the description below to enter the giveaway. And don't forget to check out Eileen's video. I can't wait to see what she came up with. And don't forget to check the April Lilli store for more inspiration and to buy some new products.